I'm Enzo.
And I'm Reyna.
And this is the Date Night Horror Show. Reyna, can you believe it? We're already at the tail end of spooky season.
It's so depressing.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Especially because I got COVID.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about what we did during our spooky season that we liked.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, one of the first parties that we were going to go to the weekend before Halloween was the Spirit Halloween party at Das Bunker.
Yep.
And we went to that, and that was pretty fucking amazing.
That was really fun.
It's the kind of scene and Halloween party that I really like. You could tell it was a lot of counterculture people.
Yeah.
Huge array of costumes. Some really edgy, unusual costumes as well. You know me, one of my favorite things to do in costume is to look at other people's costumes.
Oh, for sure. That's so much fun. And the venue was really cool. It had
so great.
pretty big dance floors. 3 different bar areas.
Yeah, it was great.
Plenty of seating, which you never find in clubs.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of clubs here in LA that are a little too bougie for my taste.
Yeah.
I'm a gutter punk, so I'm used to the goth scene and the punk scene being like kind of on the crusty side.
Yeah.
Kind of on the divey side. A scene like that tends to be a little more authentic.
For sure.
And this did not disappoint.
Yeah, the DJs were really good.
I was kind of worried because, you know, Spirit Halloween, I thought, oh, are we going to get a bunch of mid people, you know, kind of mainstream? But no, the music was fucking awesome.
It was great. All the dance floors.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. We dressed up as What We Do in the Shadows, Nandor, Naja, and the guide, our friend Alex, who you will hear later in this episode.
That's right.
And we just had a fantastic time.
It was so much fun.
But the bad part...
Except for the parting gift. Yeah, I totally got a parting gift from it. It had to be there because I purposely did not go anywhere because I did not want to get sick. We had gone to Universal, but a couple weeks before that, so it definitely wasn't that. And then I worked from home leading up to the party. Yeah. Because, you know, there were people that were sick at work and in our lives, so I didn't want to get sick by any stretch. So I could enjoy Halloween season, so we could enjoy Halloween season. So I go to this party and boom.
Yeah, it's weird.
I get COVID.
Neither Alex or I got COVID, but Reyna got COVID. And that kind of put a damper on the rest of our weekend plans and into Halloween itself. Yeah. Which was the following week. I had all these plans within plans.
Oh, man.
But we had to cancel them. We had to be safe. We didn't want to spread it needlessly.
Oh, and I didn't feel good at all.
Yeah, and you weren't feeling so great. I had been working on this clicker costume from The Last of Us.
Which is amazing.
And thank you. I was only able to wear it on Zoom at work.
I felt so bad.
On my work party. I didn't go into the office because I didn't want to get other people sick, just in case I'm carrying it.
Smart.
And so I sort of wrapped that costume up, and I had a lot of fun just doing that. I mean, that was fun. And if you look for us on TikTok, just search the Date Night Horror Show, you can see videos of the clicker costume I'm talking about. And I even made a tutorial video to show you exactly how I made the costume.
It's crazy good.
So thank you, babe. I have to say, this foam clay thing, oh my God, it has
pretty amazing.
Been a game changer. Foam clay is like this foamy water-based clay that air dries, and you can stick it on other latex appliances and it sticks like glue with water. When it all air dries, it's very fused.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and from there you can paint it, you can carve it. it's amazing. And what's great about it is it's very light.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, so when I was making the headpiece for the clicker, I wanted to make sure the costume was comfortable, the headpiece was comfortable, and I could control it entirely with the foam clay. I could choose where the holes for my eyes would be. It worked out perfectly.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's just how you put it together, how it looks exactly like the mushroom heads in the show is, man, you did a great job.
Thank you, babe. That was really, really fun. I after the show had started, I started working on the headpiece and I sculpted it. And then I let it dry and then I painted it. But then I kind of put it to the side. But then when we started talking about our Halloween plans, what we do, what Reyna and I do with our friend Alex is we go, okay, on this night, we'll go out like this and we'll be dressed like this.
We try to do group things.
Yeah, because it creates a presence if there's 3 of us. So I think we were going to do like a horror theme,
like
horror
icons
kind of thing. So I thought, I'll just do a clicker.
I was going to be Art the Clown.
Yeah, I love your Art the Clown too. It's so great.
So sad.
And then I even bought you the sunflower glasses.
The sunflower glasses and the head candy dish.
The head candy dish. Yeah, I was going to do more with that as well. Well, we always go to horror conventions. We always do costume events. So we will eventually bring out Art the Clown, Reyna as Art the Clown.
100% bringing out Art the Clown next year.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what happened to us. We had to kind of regroup. But what was really fun was a few days after all that, you were healthy again. You tested negative, and we had a Kiss concert to go to.
Yes, that was so much fun.
Yeah. And some of you may not know, but we are massive Kiss fans.
Oh my God. Massive.
Like, I'm a nut from back in the day.
Yeah.
And Reyna, through our relationship, she's become a nut just as much as I am.
The first concert Enzo ever took me to was Kiss.
Yeah, Kiss and Wasp. Yeah, and that was back in our teenage years. So we've been seeing Kiss concerts years and years. In fact, this final tour, this is the 5th time we saw it. And it's very poignant. I know you cried at the end of this one.
I did.
Because it's probably the last time we're going to see
a big tour.
Especially Paul and Jean.
Yeah.
In their makeup as Kiss.
Yeah.
They've talked about doing a next generation. We'll see if that goes, but it won't be the same.
Not be the same.
Because those guys mean a lot to me. But they're kind of my Star Wars. Kiss is my Star Wars.
Yeah, but it was fun because we got to dress like them. I always do Jean.
I always do the Catman costume, which can be controversial. Sometimes Kiss Army will be like, well, are you dressed as Peter Criss or are you dressed as,
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I'm just Catman. Just calm down. I respect anyone who wears the makeup and is up there on stage.
That's
so,
right.
And again, it's going to be sad.
Yeah. And then our friend Alex was Paul Stanley.
Yeah. She's always our Paul.
Yeah. We're just missing an ace.
Yeah. I think we've got one though. I think Edith, if it happens again, Edith can be our ace.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were able to kind of pull it up. We were able to get some more costuming in there.
At least.
So, as part of this Halloween 2023 wrap up, we're going to review a movie that I think is extremely Halloween worthy, and it's new for this season, Dark Harvest.
Yeah, that one was so good.
Yeah, we watched this during the spooky season, and I told Reyna, we need to do a review of this because this is a good one and should be on people's radar. But before that, I have a few questions I want to ask you. Okay. So first, what I want to ask you is, what's your favorite moment of this Halloween season?
I had a lot of fun going. I didn't know what to expect at that Spirit Halloween either.
Yeah.
And I love dressing as what we do in the shadows, but we've done it so much in the past year that I was kind of like, I know it's kind of a warm up. So
Yeah.
I didn't mind at the time, but now in retrospect, I'm like, man, because we had some other costumes planned. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I hadn't danced in a long time, so I got to dance. And it was comfortable. I didn't feel crowded. So like you mentioned, a lot of great costumes. So I have to say that was definitely my highlight.
Yeah, I might agree with that. That party was great. The speakeasy, when we went the first time and we dressed up as vampire royalty, was really cool.
You're right.
Because people were looking at us and they thought we were part of the show.
That was so early that I totally forgot about that. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and with every costume event, I try to learn something. I try to push myself to something. And to me, using those large ear extensions,
Game changer.
I put makeup on all of ours, so it all matched. So it wasn't just what came out of the box. It takes makeup very, very well, like human skin. So I was able to match it all up, and I think it looked really, really good.
Yeah, we look like a family.
Yeah, we totally
family of
did.
Vampires.
That was one. And then when I put the headdress on the clicker after putting all the makeup on, I was like, holy shit, this worked. Because I plan these costumes out, you guys. Like, I have vision quests, what I call costume vision quests. And when the series came out, I'm like, I'm going to make a fucking clicker costume because I forgot how great this design is. I played all the games, of course, but this series really reminded me of how great this kind of zombie design is.
So cool.
And that was really fun.
Creepy.
When I put all the things together and everything falls into place and I'm comfortable, that feeling is really great. So I would say that. But I think our next thing is the holidays. Yeah. And there is Season Screaming, which is a horror convention, holiday-themed horror convention by the people who do Midsummer Scream. And it is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I need to start prepping our costumes for that. I have a few ideas up my sleeve. So that's going to be fun as well. Yeah.
That should be fun.
So I guess we can move on to the review.
Awesome.
Cue the music.
And now, our feature review.
Okay. Do you want to read the synopsis for us?
Sure. So, of course, it's Dark Harvest. And in a small Midwestern town, a deadly annual ritual unfolds when the mythical nightmare Sawtooth Jack rises from the cornfields and challenges the town's teenage boys in a bloody battle of survival. And this is new, as Enzo mentioned, it's 2023. So the director is David Slade, who also did 30 Days of Night.
Cool.
And Hannibal.
Oh, so good.
To name a few, but those are the two big horror ones he did.
30 Days of Night. Oh my God.
I love that movie.
Whenever I see even like a shot of Twilight, I run over and I watch 30 Days of Night because it's such a violent vampire film. It's really scary vampires the way they should be. Yeah, that explains a lot. There's violence in the film and gore that I was not expecting based on the trailer. I thought it was going to be a little slick, like a little too slick.
Yeah.
This feels like it's a bigger budget film.
It did.
Yeah. So I didn't know if they were going to get as horror-y as they did. Well, they did.
They did. I thought it would be too like Children of the Corn remake type. I was afraid it would be like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting much.
Cool.
So I was really delightfully surprised.
Yeah, in many ways, this movie reminds me of certain things. It's like a mix between Children of the Corn and The Lottery, that kind of story. Hunger Games, a little bit of Get Out, some Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, I really
Candyman.
Candyman. Yeah, I like this movie a lot. I think it's extremely Halloween-y And
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of those classics that people watch around Halloween.
For sure.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought the creature work was really, really great. It has kind of a stylized quality, a romantic quality, like Americana sort of thing. It takes place in the early 60s, and it's based on a book, too. And I really enjoyed this film.
Yeah, so the whole movie is about this creature that comes to life on Halloween, and it cannot make it to their church,
Right.
or the town will be devastated. Their crops won't grow. A lot of them will starve and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and that's a great theme too, because it's calling back the Dust Bowl time, and it feels really Americana to me.
Yeah. And so only the boys, teenage boys, not the men, but the teenage boys, they're sleep deprived. They don't feed them, so they're hungry. So they're all like ravenous and angry.
Yeah.
So that they can go after this creature. I highly recommend. It's such a good movie. I didn't know what to expect. And, sometimes when we're looking for movies that we're not sure about, they can be complete misses.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I thought this might be one from the beginning, at the very beginning. But then I'm like, no, this is getting good. And then by the end of the movie, I was thoroughly satisfied with it.
It got super dark.
I enjoyed it.
The twist was good.
The CG mixed with practical was good.
Yeah.
It was thoroughly entertaining. I'm probably going to buy this movie.
Oh, I hope you do, because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
And it did open it up for hopefully a second one.
Yeah, possibly.
I really hope so, because I thought it was really good. I mean, they even touched on, like, Get Out, like you said, racism and everything. It was just good.
Yeah, and it had like this fairy tale quality too. It was just stylized enough to feel kind of fairy tale. It was good.
Yeah, highly recommended. I know it's over, even though none of us want to let it go. But you should definitely take a look at that one.
Yeah, but you should try to find ways to keep Halloween in your heart all year round. I know Reyna and I do.
100%.
Yeah.
We find any reason to dress up in costumes. And of course, almost every day we watch a horror movie.
Yeah, that'll do it. Cool. Do you want to move into the spoiler zone and talk about this further?
Sure.
Okay, let's go.
Beware. Spoilers ahead.
Is there anything you want to say about the movie that you can say in the spoiler zone? Listeners, if you're here with us, that means you've seen the movie and you want to hear us go a little more in depth with spoilers.
So I really like the twist, which is the creature that comes to life is the boy that won the year before.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so they never let him leave. They kill him and they bury him. And then they put him up on that thing. You think that winner went off with the money they gave him and led like this crazy adventurous life.
Yeah.
And they lead you to believe that, right?
It's interesting.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that twist as more of like a metaphor for what happened during Vietnam. Initially we were supposed to be advisors, helping the non-communist side, but really there was a war going on, and we're
right.
It hit this tone that was really cynical when they show how they make the creature.
Yeah,
it's just really blunt and cruel, and if it would have been just like softly done, the film wouldn't have been as potent as it is. Yeah, I really liked that twist, and I thought it really worked well.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of like what it is like to grow up in a small town and I got out, like that sort of thing. And the way young people want to move on and have a different life, and I thought it was great. I thought it was really well done. And
the parents knew. That was even creepier. Like the parents knew.
Yeah, that was really great too. It reminded me of like a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of thing, where the parents
are all in on it.
Yeah, they secretly know who the person, why the kids are going through what they're going through. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie a lot.
And the way they eat the candy out of the body.
Yeah,
it's all stuffed with candy. That was so
ritualistic
weird.
And odd, and there were some big swings in this movie where it could have fallen apart, but the way it was put together really worked. I enjoyed this movie a lot.
Yeah, and I really hope there's a sequel where the other brother that ends up being the next monster gets revenge.
Yeah, all that was really grim, the way it ended and everything. It was great. Another thing I really liked was his crew of kids that were hunting. They were wearing these skull masks that are pretty much Crimson Ghosts from Misfits, right? Which is from an old film as well, but I loved how they all looked wearing those.
Yeah,
it looked like the Misfits walking around. Like, that was so cool, and the whole classic rock and roll thing. And
when that thing would kill too, it was brutal.
Crazy. Yeah, very pumpkin headish. It was really, really fun. And you know what? Another movie it reminded me of, The Outsiders.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Like that same kind of greaser, 50s, 60s romanticized young males growing up kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was great. And then the African American protagonist, I was not expecting her, and I thought she was really awesome. Like,
really good.
She was a perfect thing. It's like a lot of the times content from that era, they kind of brush aside people of color. And so I thought it was great to see her right in the middle of it, and doing her thing. Like that was awesome. That was great.
I hope she comes back too.
Yeah. And how she left was interesting as well. So I really like this film.
Such a good movie. It's again, fun date movie. And it really puts you in the Halloween spirit.
It's a new classic, I'm telling you.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that you're going to buy it.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Enzo, so I'm so excited. We're going to finally talk about Not Scary Farm with our very special guest, my BFF, and our horror partner in crime, Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
Welcome to the show, Alex.
Yes, it's her first time here with us. And we've asked Alex to join us because, unfortunately, Enzo and I weren't able to go to Knott's this year because I got COVID.
Yeah, we all went to the Spirit Halloween party at Das Bunker, which was really fucking awesome. But yeah, unfortunately, Reyna got COVID. But Alex has been such a trooper that she's going to be interviewed, and we're going to all talk about Knott's, and then we're going to circle back to Universal and discuss which one did it best this year.
Yeah, because we were able to go, as you know, to Universal, so we'll be able to talk about that. And through Alex's experience, hopefully let you know what theoretically we thought was the best, and Alex can for sure tell us which one she thought was better.
Okay, Alex, just so our listeners know about who you are as a horror person, I know you have a sister who's also a good friend of ours named Lily, and you guys not only go to Knott's and Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, but you also go to Disney. Could you tell us about that and, what your rituals are?
Yeah, so we like to do all three parks because we love spooky season. And we usually start in September for Universal because...
getting in there early.
Yes. Getting in there early.
I know you've got a whole ritual too. Like you have songs you need to play, before you go into the park. And you've enveloped Reyna and I into your whole ritual. You guys even do the buffet. Could you talk about that?
Yeah. So whenever we go to any horror event, we like to listen to Psychosocial by Slipknot.
Nice.
That's like, that gets us into the mood.
I can see that. I can see why that would hype you up. We played it on our way with you guys.
Yeah, that hypes. It's been a tradition for years for us. The buffet, we like to do the buffet at Knott's because you get a lot of monsters to dine with you.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah, so you eat and they do mess with you. There's not like a time where they're gonna ignore you.
Oh, that's awesome.
They do. They sit. It's like they're having dinner with you.
Okay, so they're eating as well?
No. They come and then they'll either say something to you really fast when they walk by, or sometimes they'll have like a full-on conversation with you while you're eating.
That's really cool. What's like the funniest thing or the scariest?
So the funniest thing happened when we went to the buffet this year. There was a monster dressed like a pig, and and she walks by and she sees my plate and she goes, diarrhea.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Which I thought was funny.
That's hilarious.
And then this year too, I love werewolves, and I saw a werewolf and we had a conversation about like that I love him and stuff, and he's like joking with me about how we can't get married.
I saw the picture on your social media. It was really cute.
Yeah, I love the buffet a lot, and they give you this like souvenir tumbler.
Oh, cool!
And you can use it throughout the whole season, so you can refill it whenever you want.
So is it a different design every year?
No, it's the same, but it's convenient because you can stop anywhere and just be like, oh, I want to get a soda or something, and it's free.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh man, usually our schedules don't really allow for us to go with you guys to the buffet, but I've always been really interested in, and everything you just said. I think we're gonna have to take the day off to go with them to the buffet.
Yeah, the buffet is convenient because you get to enjoy the park 30 minutes before it opens. Well, they open Ghost Town for you. So once you're done with the buffet, you can enjoy the mazes in Ghost Town, which is 4 of them.
Wow.
And you can knock those out in 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Before really the whole crowd comes in.
Wow, it's really worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I think that's what's cool about having you on the show. You've lived in this area your whole life, so you kind of know Knott's, you've known Knott's for most of your life, and kind of what Knott's has always brought in terms of Knott's Scary Farm and the ritual of it and the buffet and all that stuff. So it's really cool that you're on here with us. I know you guys are real sticklers for watching the intro. I remember we went with you to see it, and one of the things that I was not a fan of is that it was still light out. But I know for you guys, it's a big part of your ritual is to see it crack open, so to speak.
Yeah.
Could you talk about that?
Yeah, and this year was cool because they had Sarah Marshall, who's the witch, Knott's Scary Farm's witch.
The Curse of Calico witch?
Yeah, she's kind of like the main, I would say the main monster.
She's like the Mickey Mouse of Not Scary.
Yeah, what's cool is that she came out this year, she was on top of the roof.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she was like saying like, like doing the whole like, I'm going to get you kind of a thing.
Like the whole witchy cackling thing?
Yeah, and then she unleashed the monsters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so this year's intro I thought was pretty cool.
That's cool.
It was different, and it had fireworks. It was cool. So
they made her like the ringleader of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So when she unleashes the monsters, you're ready to just go to the maze that you want to go.
Yeah.
And all of these monsters are like on you. Like
they're
we're
like in your way.
talking about a lot of them like trying to chase you. Like it's funny.
So it's like an onslaught kind of thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So if you could think back to the first night you went, could you give us an idea of which mazes you went into first and kind of your first impressions about each one? Or did you have a path you took?
So we bought, my sister and I bought the season pass. So we knew like, okay, we're going to go. We usually don't go to opening night. But we went to opening night because we were really excited this year to like just start off, spooky season. And we went with no high expectations. We thought we were just going to go and eat and like flirt with some monsters and that's it. But no, we ended up doing all the mazes within an hour and 30 minutes.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I have a question. So when you see the monsters and they break through, right? So you're waiting for them and and they come, I guess they run at you, right?
Yeah.
How does the makeup look during the day?
Oh,
it's really good. Yeah. The makeup's really good.
It still looks scary without it being like...
Yeah, no, they're still very scary.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then they have they do the whole chase, crawling on the floor, and they have the chainsaws out.
That's the one thing I do have to say about Knott's is that the scare zones are much scarier at Knott's.
It seems like they have more actors there.
They have more actors. I feel like they do more as far as like what you're saying, like they're on the ground, they're crawling, they're doing a lot of different things. So it's hard to see them when they're coming at you. So
at Knott's, there's definitely more monsters, I feel, than Universal. Mm-hmm. And I feel with Knott's, there's a spooky feeling everywhere. You can't avoid it. Everywhere you go, it's something spooky around you.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past, that if you were to go to Knott's with all the lights out, right, it would be a spooky environment. Like, it just would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has that intrinsic, abandoned, amusement park kind of feel. Whereas Universal has like the Simpsons area, which is not spooky, right? So it's just built for horror a little bit more than I would say what Universal is.
Yeah, and it's decorated spooky.
Right.
So everywhere you go, it's like you can't miss, like, okay, I'm at a Halloween event. Mm-hmm. Whereas, Universal, it's not. There's places you can go and you're like, oh yeah, I'm here for horror nights.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. But I feel like Knott's would be a perfect setting for a horror movie, because you also have like the rickety, wooden roller coaster, and just the sound of that makes its own ambiance, I feel like, to make it creepier.
True, very true.
Yeah.
And so, I remember I resisted Knott's for the longest time because when I first moved to LA, we went to Universal and I was so impressed with it because I had never done anything like it, that I was kind of resistant to Knott's. And then when we went, because Alex was like, you guys have to go, you're crazy, like you have to go to Knott's. And we went, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a whole new world, especially because you can get a season pass, right? So you can go for the whole season any day of the week that they're open.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
So tell us, what was the first maze you went to once the monsters were unleashed and they chased you around a little? So where'd you go first?
So for opening day, my favorite maze is Origins, the Curse of Calico.
Yeah, that's the witch one. That one's really long too.
Yeah. Well, I went there because I'm like, well, it's usually a long line.
It's popular.
So let's just go straight to that one, because I was thinking people are going to want to do the new mazes.
Yep.
So we went there, and it was spooky because we were like one of the first ones to go in. That's
awesome. Yeah. I remember that one being really, really, really cool. And then when you thought it was ending, it wasn't ending. Like it's really long and windy. And then the witch is everywhere.
Yeah, the transformation of the witch. I love that.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
So who was the one to walk in first? Was it you, or did you have Lily walk in front of you?
Well, Lily knows that I love that maze, so I walked in first.
Oh, nice. So you got all the scares.
Well, it depends, because the person behind you can get the most scares sometimes. And that's they think Lily's like 16, so they're like, oh, I want to go.
I want to scare the little girl.
I want to scare the little one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I've seen that before.
Yeah.
So then from there, so tell us, kind of walk us through like what was next. And
so after we did Curse of Calico, we walked over to the, like where the log ride area is. Mm-hmm. And that's where they used to have that dark ride maze.
Oh, yeah.
But they had this new maze called Cinema Slasher.
Ooh.
And we were like, oh, there was no wait, like zero. So we're like, okay, let's try the new, let's get on this new maze. And that's a really good maze.
Yeah.
The cinema slasher.
So what were some of the monsters? Can you tell us like some of the cinema monsters?
Cinema slasher, you go in and it smells like popcorn, which I love popcorn.
Okay, so it's trying to be like an old theater then.
Yeah, it's like you're going into a theater, and when you go in the theater, there's people sitting. It's like a theater.
Oh man, that's
and
creepy.
It's yeah, the screen is cut in half.
Oh.
And there's a movie playing.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in through the screen, and then it's like like they're playing there. It's supposed to be like an homage to 3 other different mazes that used to be at Knott's.
Oh wow, so it's like this is like a deep, there's some deep themes in there,
and it's very subtle. So like they have Trick or Treat. I don't know if you remember that one.
I think so, yeah.
So they have that kind of in the beginning of the maze, and it's people dressed up in Halloween, and it's the slashers like looking at you, like showing his knife at you like he's gonna get you. After that, you go in through like a bedroom, and he's like butchering some like woman, which is really like a mannequin.
But was it scary?
Yeah,
Did it look real?
yeah, no, it's
That's
scary.
awesome.
I like that one a lot. And then at the end, there's this really big chainsaw.
Ooh,
Yeah, and going through the whole maze is cool because it's like just this slasher like chasing you
that's awesome.
throughout the whole maze. And it's cool because they have little cutouts too of like Elvira and not Freddy, Michael.
Oh, cool.
Michael Myers, and you're like, hey. But yeah, I really enjoy that one.
That's cool. So it's just paying like tribute to all the slasher, fun horror movie tributes out there.
Yeah, kind of like the feel of like a slasher movie. Like it's like if it Knott's had a slasher movie, that would be it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
My favorite kind of movie.
Yeah.
Slashers. And then from there, what was next?
So after Cinema Slasher, we did Mesmer.
Oh, I remember Mesmer.
I don't remember Mesmer. Which one's that?
Mesmer is trippy and weird. Like that one's like an exploration into the mind kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like
that one's super trippy. That one was there, I think, last year as well.
Yeah, it was good. I like that. That one had no wait either. That one's just like if you remember it from last year, you'll remember it's the same thing. After Mesmer, we went to Grimoire, and that one did have a wait time. That one had like a 20-minute wait time. I want to say.
Still not bad though.
Yeah, and it was a little different from last year. Last year they did a whole like introduction. Like the actors had you come in, and they were like you were camping, and they were telling you like, oh, be careful,
right,
or whatever. And then you had 3 different tents you could go into. And this one they skipped the intro, and you just went into one tent. And that one was pretty cool. They have like a spooky Groot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is kind of cute.
It was cute, scary.
Yeah, it was cute, scary.
What was your biggest jump in that maze?
I think it was the Groot, because you don't think he's real.
That's the best.
And then he spooks you.
And then from Grimoire, I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
Grimoire. From Grimoire, we went to the Room 13, which is one of the new ones, and that's kind of like a hotel, and the monsters, like, they drank the devil's elixir.
Okay, so is it like a haunted hotel theme?
Yeah, and I think it's 1920s.
Oh, okay. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and that one had a wait time. I think we did 15 minutes on that one, I believe.
Okay. Would you say that it's the kind of design that they may keep it for a while because it was effective, or?
I honestly didn't really care for that one.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of on the weaker side.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I don't know if they probably needed more monsters in there.
I was just gonna ask you, what was it that you felt was lacking or needed?
Like, I don't know. I didn't feel that one. I don't know if there was just not enough spooky moments for me on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like out of the times that I've gone, which I think I went like 6 times, I've only did it twice.
Was the second time any better, or did you still feel like something was missing?
Yeah, something was still missing on that one.
So maybe if you probably put it at the bottom of your list.
Yeah, and I just think I don't like the 1920s scare zone either. I think that's what it is too. Like, I don't find it scary. The monsters, they have like full conversation. Like, I don't know. They don't. the way they mess with you, I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I remember that scare zone being there last year, and I was more intrigued by their dancing and the music than really it feeling like a scare zone. It almost felt like an entertainment zone as opposed to a horror zone.
Yeah, that part I liked last year too, was the scare zone. I'm doing air quotes, by the way, because it wasn't scary. I know what you're talking about. I agree with you. I think what I enjoyed the most was when they were on the balcony part and they did like the big band stuff with the Charleston and like the dancers and stuff. I thought that was definitely cool, but not scary. And you're right, they do talk to you a lot.
Yeah, they mess with you like a little too, and you're like, yeah, like, okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then where do you walk from there? What zone do you go into?
After that, where did I go? I think we were like, okay, let's go to like the 4 mazes in Ghost Town, because we were avoiding those 4 mazes first, because that's usually where people start off.
Right, because that's at the entrance, right?
Yeah, and so we were like, let's not even go there. Let's just do the ones, that we want to go to. Mm-hmm. So we went to Waxworks, which has been there.
I remember Waxworks.
Yeah, and that one's no different either. And next to it is cool because they have the Legacy store.
Oh, fun.
That you can go into, which is nice.
Did you buy anything?
Yes, I bought my Sarah Marshall plushie.
Oh, she's here today with us too.
Yeah. I love Sarah Marshall.
Okay, so the Legacy store is like, it's not merch specific to Not Scary Farm, is it?
Yeah, it's a store and like a mini museum.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they have like Elvira's couch.
Okay.
That's where like they have all the cool Elvira merch.
Because they don't have the Elvira store specific anymore, right?
No.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
No. But they do have like t-shirts you can buy there of like the other mazes of not Scary Farm merch.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So then, what other ghost mazes did you do?
So after Waxworks, we went into the Depths.
I remember the Depths.
Yeah. And this is the last year of the Depths.
No.
It's gone. Yeah.
We missed the Depths.
I know. I like that one a lot too.
Yeah, I like that one as well. But I think it's time. It's cool to have fresh new ideas in there. And if it's missed, I'm sure it'll come back at some point. But I always like the Depths. The Depths had some interesting things in there.
Yeah, we did the Depths, and yeah, that one, I like that one. Then after that, we went into Dark Entities, which that one's not that popular, but I gotta give it to them this year. I really enjoyed it.
Did they step it up with something different?
They stepped it up. They added more monsters, I think, on there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and it's just a different vibe. Like it felt a little more spookier. Because I wasn't a fan when it started.
So Dark Entities, is that the one that's kind of space themed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I remember that one having like undertones of Alien and the John Carpenter's The Thing. Lots of, even parts that felt like Dead Space, like all kind of space and horror kind of stuff. What stuff did they do to kind of step it up that you were saying?
I feel like it was darker in there.
Oh,
that's always good.
And more like foggy. And I was scared. They jump scared me a lot.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one. I'm sad that it's leaving. Yeah, even though I didn't like it at first, they stepped it up.
But they went out with a bang.
They went out with a bang. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember the last couple times they had it, they were trying to do like a humor thing in the beginning of it, and I felt like the humor part was weird. Did they still have any of those humor elements, or did they remove them?
No, they don't. They removed them.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's probably what did it. Getting that consistent tone throughout. Okay, what was the next maze you did?
So after that, we went into Bloodline, which is like the vampire maze. And I think it used to be a gun shooting maze, like a one where you would shoot the vampires.
Right.
But they didn't have that this year.
Yeah, I remember I hated those.
Yeah.
Because when you give someone a weapon, right, all you do is you walk through it like a shooting gallery, and it's no longer a scare zone. Like, it's no longer scary, right? I remember the previous one it was one point it was zombies, and then they did a vampire thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no guns. There wasn't any guns.
There was no guns, and it was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not scared of vampires because you're a vampire yourself. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, and it felt very quick too. Like that one's fast.
Yeah, like they kind of rushed you through it.
Yeah, I mean, seeing vampires is cool, but yeah, it just felt very rushed. I feel.
Yeah, those feel kind of like you missed something.
Yeah, I don't know. I only did that one twice too. Like I really didn't care for that one, but it was. I mean, I feel like vampires.
It's worth it maybe once.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what was next? What was next?
So, then we did the last one was the Chilling Chambers, which is a 50th like anniversary of all past mazes.
Oh,
kind of it plays like an homage to it. And that one was good.
So how was that one different from the one you talked about, the legendary one or legends?
You mean the slasher one?
Yeah, the slasher.
Yeah, the one that was kind of like also kind of an homage to Not Scary Farm. How were they different?
Chilling Chambers. That one, it has like I wouldn't say all of them, but some of like their most popular mazes, little sections that you can go and like remember. Like I don't know if you remember the doll one, the doll factory one.
I remember.
They had pieces of that, and they had
That's actually really that's the thing with Knott's. They're so resourceful. They probably had all those props lying around, and they said, "Well, how can we mitigate cost of making a new maze? Well, shit, let's just take parts and show our respect for each maze." That's real. That's the thing that Knott's. You always feel it when you go. It's like they're scrappy. Like they use their resources in a really effective and clever way.
With Knott's, it's almost like a horror fan or fans or horror aficionados are the ones who put Knott's Scary Farm together. Like they really speak to the horror fan, I feel like, more than Universal. Universal has all the licensed stuff, which is amazing.
Yeah, and the professional set dresser types, but with Knott's, it seems like they have more, people like us who do some of that work, but then they're also big fans as well. Not necessarily industry people. I'm sure they have some industry people, but yeah.
I think it just shows people that are there have also the love for horror. It's not just okay, it's another job for the season or whatever. It's like they want to do this. They want to be part of the scare zones. They want to be part of the, putting the mazes together and the costuming and the whole thing. I just get that vibe from Knott's. What do you think, Alex?
They definitely love what they're doing for sure. And the Chilling Chambers, I liked they had like specific smells.
I love when they do the smell thing. Reyna loves that too.
It was pretty bad. They have like elephants farting on you.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh, this is cool, but then like a little too much. I was getting like nauseous. I was like, I can't. But it's cool. That one was fun too.
Okay, so now we've gone through all the different mazes, and I have a couple questions for you in regards to the different mazes. Okay. One, out of all the mazes this year at Knott's, which one was your favorite?
So I like two of them.
Okay.
I am still a fan of Origins.
Yeah, that one's really good.
I like that one. That one's like, if I want to get scared, I'm going into that one.
I have to say that when I go, the years I go to Knott's, and there's certain mazes that they've kept, like the paranormal one. Oh my god, that one is like, please go away. Finally, it's gone.
Yeah.
But Caligo, I feel like Caligo you could keep forever because it's so good. It's so good, so dynamic, so Knott's. It's part of Knott's lore even.
Yeah, and I love the witch. I love the witch at the end, and she's like, cursing you as you leave. I love that.
Yeah, it's a classic that I don't think they could get rid of. It's really good.
Yeah, and it's been around. So my second favorite, I enjoyed Cinema Slasher a lot. I really like that one.
Yeah, I could tell when you were describing it even.
Yeah, because they have like slashers, and you go into kind of like a camp. Like in Friday the 13th.
Ooh, how cool.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It's scary. That one was scary.
And anytime they incorporate smells, that just really plays to the ambiance and the scary creepiness of it, right? Because you said it smelled like popcorn.
Yeah.
When you walked in.
Yeah, it smells like pop. I was like, oh yeah, I want
Yeah,
some.
something so simple, but it still gives it that creep factor.
Yeah, that one was good. And you kept going into different, like you kept going into a theater again and again.
Yeah, and I feel like good and bad smells create that sense of immersion. I remember Pumpkin Eater, which is one of my favorites. Whenever we go to Pumpkin Eater, it would have that pumpkin pie smell, and then the corn smell, and both are pleasant smells, and they just use that to kind of create this sense of immersion, like you're really, really there. It's really, really happening. Seems like they were doing the same sort of thing with popcorn. Very clever, very, very clever. I wish we would have seen that one.
Yeah, that one was good.
Damn COVID.
Damn.
All right, so what would you say was Lily's favorite maze?
Lily's favorite? I would say, I think she likes the Origins.
Also, yeah.
I think she likes that one. And I think Dark Entities this year. She enjoyed that one this year. They scared her a lot in that one. And of course, I'm in the back.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, because my favorite spot at Knott's, period, whether it's during regular season or Knott's Scary Farm, is the plaza. But when we went last year, it was under kind of a revamp construction. Was it open this year?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was open, and they did some new stuff. Yeah, so it's now very, like, I would say Dia de los Muertos kind of themed.
Ah, my favorite.
Yeah, they had like some photo ops for you to take too.
Oh, that's so cool. Did they have stuff going on the stage like they usually do?
I don't remember seeing anything on stage.
Yeah.
I just really did a walkthrough. Mm-hmm. They didn't have any monsters roaming around that area.
Oh.
But it still had like a good vibe to it.
Yeah. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Dana just likes that spot because she always buys stuff there. You always find cool jewelry and cool purses and stuff like that.
The jewelry store.
You always leave your paycheck there. Oh no, the jewelry store.
Yeah, there's no more jewelry store.
What?
I know.
I've gotten the best stuff there.
Yeah.
Darn.
It's gone.
Boo.
I know.
Well, I look forward to checking it out, though. Let's see next time.
Okay, Alex, I have 2 more questions for you, and then we can wrap up the segment. 1, what were your general impressions of Universal? And 2, what was your favorite maze at Universal?
So my impression of Universal, I'm going to say I think the quality of the mazes are impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know, I felt there's certain areas of Universal that I think could use
A judge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they're like, it's a top production, I feel. You know? You go there and you better get your money's worth.
Yeah, right. And they do put money in it. With yeah, they do.
Yeah. There was a spooky, I mean, it's a spooky vibe, but not like nuts.
Right. It doesn't have the consistent spooky vibe.
Like you can go places and not be scared.
Right.
And it's fine. Like you forget, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm at Universal. I see Mario World right there.
Yeah, Mario World and like The Simpsons. Even going down the escalator was kind of weird because it's so lit, which I understand for safety, but yeah, it kind of takes you out of it and then it throws you back into it.
At least for Harry Potter, though, they had the Death Eaters, which I thought was pretty cool. That was like, okay, they added some spook to it.
That's true because the last time we went, they didn't have monsters.
Yeah, it was just Harry Potter World.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And that just kills the vibe for me too. Like you go into the Harry Potter zone and all you see are Harry Potter nerds like freaking out because it is a really very realistic looking place, but it doesn't feel scary, and it should. It's cool that they added the Death Eaters to at least have some scare in there. So
they were scary.
So what was the top maze for you then?
Oh man, I have two.
Okay.
I have two. I know I said two last time for nuts, but
That's okay. You can have two.
I enjoyed the Chucky maze.
Yes.
I thought that was like, that was so good.
I agree with you. I love Chucky.
The Chucky one was so fun. And I enjoyed Universal Monsters Unmasked.
Ooh, that's super interesting.
That one scared the crap out of me.
See, and this is what's cool about horror, how subjective it is. Because when Reyna and I reviewed it, I think our experience with it, we felt it was kind of empty. And we both kind of concurred about that. But maybe we just didn't get a big scare from it.
Yeah.
But you guys did. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And
if you enjoyed it, that's great.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing about Universal is I feel like the mazes are on a time.
Right.
So with Universal, you know when you're going to get scared because they do like this, I don't know if it's like a scream, and then they do lightning, like a light.
Oh, yeah. I know
Or
what
no,
you're
it's
saying.
the other way around, right? They do like a light.
They do something like
They
that
do
to a
something that
trigger.
you know, oh, okay, something's going to come out.
Right.
Like that's expected. Like I don't like that. And also too, if you are on the maze and the person say some people in front of you, they get the scares
Oh, yeah.
because it's on a time.
Right.
And you missed. You're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I missed it. I didn't get to see it. And then you can do the whole maze and not even see like
Yeah.
what's happening. That's the only thing about Universal that I'm like, oh, even though the quality of it is great, like the makeup and the way the monsters look, that's my flaw with Universal.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I also feel like the earlier in the season you go, the less monsters they have than when you get closer to Halloween, I feel like. I feel like they really ramp it up closer to Halloween than, let's say, if you go early on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Reyna and I went earlier than you guys to Universal.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It's the mechanics of the season. When you have more people going through the maze, you need more actors to get the scares. So I think we may have gone at a time where that maze was emptier. And the rhythm, you're absolutely right about the rhythm. In fact, when we go through a maze, I try to like back up and let people go ahead of me. And then when I don't see them anymore, then I continue to go. That way I don't see the reveals in their reaction. But then sometimes you can go through a maze and your rhythm gets thrown off and then everything's wrong. And I think maybe that's what happened to us with Universal Unmasked. Because I have to tell you, Alex, for me as a horror fan, the Universal Monster stuff is always the maze I'm most interested in. Because I love all that classic stuff. And it's interesting. I feel like you guys had a better experience with that maze than we did. And now I feel like I want to go through it again.
Yeah. No, it was good. The Dr. Jekyll, like that, he scared me.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing about Universal is if you are a couple seconds short, you're going to miss.
Yeah,
You're going to miss some stuff. And that's disappointing because you pay a lot of money.
A lot of money.
You know, especially we did front of the line.
Right.
And we could only do it once. So the only thing about Universal is if you're off like a couple seconds, you miss like some scares.
Ugh, that's the worst feeling.
Yeah, because then you can see like ahead of time,
Yeah.
like what to expect.
And you're like, what about me?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh man, like when I went on Evil Dead Rise on that maze, I saw everything. Before, you know, I saw the people in front of us got all the scares, and I'm like, dang it.
Oh, that does suck.
Yeah, that's the only thing about Universal. Although I think their production value is like top notch.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I know you have a very love more hate relationship with The Exorcist.
Yeah.
So when we went, we all hadn't gone to see the movie yet. But when you went, we had already all gone to see the movie.
Yeah.
So what did you think of The Exorcist maze?
There were some scary parts to the maze. But I'm have to say, like, I like the original
Yeah.
Exorcist maze that they had.
Yeah.
That to me was a lot creepier. Yeah, there were some elements, I guess, that were scary. Like they had the girls, you know, possessed, but I wasn't necessarily freaked out on that one.
I think it says a lot that this maze didn't scare you as much, because I know you're scared of possession films and specifically Exorcist films. I agree with you. I think the original Exorcist film maze, the times they've done it, I remember 2 times specifically they've done it, and they've both been really scary. And I feel like this didn't quite get there.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but, you know, it's Linda Blair. It's the Exorcist, the OG.
All right, Alex, so it's the moment of truth. Who's the winner this season?
I have to give it to Knots.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a more
I'm not surprised.
enjoyable time, affordable. And
right, that's true.
I think too, the monsters, they bring it when they're roaming around and they're crawling, they're doing that whole like, what is it, like a skate?
Yeah, the skating thing.
The skating thing, stuff. And then they're doing this. They did this new thing with the prop. Mm-hmm. Some of them carry props, and it's like you feel like it's gonna hit you, but it bounces back.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't remember. I think that's new because I don't remember that last year.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that.
So that's kind of cool. I have to say, Knott's. It's just more. You get more of the spooky vibe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Universal, they only had 3 scare zones. I looked at the map. Universal had only 3. And with Knott's, it always feels like there could be a creature around every corner because they do such a good job of spreading out their resources. So, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say about Knott's that I didn't like was that you see people wearing those blue necklaces.
Oh, that's right. So they did have these necklaces that people could wear if they didn't want to be scared in the scare zones. Which it's like, why are you taking people that don't want to be scared?
They were they're called immunity necklaces. And I avoided that shit like the plague. Like, I did not want to be near anyone that was wearing those because I'm like, I want to get scared.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe it's because I'm old. I just don't understand the concept of that at all. If you don't want your kids to be scared at Not Scary Farm, don't bring them. Why are you dragging them? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many I feel like there's so many more family-friendly events during Halloween than there are scary events. Like, of course, we have our Universal and our Knott's, but there's also very few other things that we can go to really get scared and have that experience. But there's tons of family ones. So I agree. If you don't want your kids to be scared or you're scared of those things, don't go.
And I was talking to a cashier in one of the stores, and I asked her, like, are these selling like in the beginning in September? And she's all like, actually, yeah. She's like, they're so selling, weird. But the actors, they hate it. Ugh. They don't like it, which I get. Why do you want to?
And look, I understand because I'm a horror kid and I have 3 other siblings who were not horror kids. But what would have happened is my mom and I would have gone by ourselves. She would have never paid for the tickets for the kids who weren't interested in horror at all, right? The logic is strange to me. I don't understand. And I totally get why the actors would be annoyed by those things. Because it limits their, they have to constantly be on edge. Oh, I can't. It makes them feel a bit constrained. And sorry, it's the whole concept of the thing is so unpunk rock.
It's very weak sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
it. It's weak sauce.
I agree with both of you so much.
I was judging people. I'm like, really?
I don't blame you because it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, it really is.
You see like older women too wearing it and it's like, really?
Yeah.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
So, Alex, I want to thank you so much for coming on here and giving us your rundown on Knott's and talking about your favorites and everything you contributed tonight to our podcast. It's your first time, and I know you were a little nervous, and you did an amazing job. So I just want to thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I'm very shy, so this is big for me.
This is great.
I feel like I didn't make any sense.
I feel like you really bailed us out because we had said that we were going to do the comparison of the 2 parks, and then when Jaina got COVID, we weren't able to do that. So thank you so much. But I do feel like you and your sister, I call you guys the Spooky Sisters because you guys are always doing horror events and going to conventions and dragging us to like going, oh, this is a good place to go. So we've learned a lot from you about this area and what it has to offer as far as horror goes. And I feel you guys have a lot of insight into that stuff. So I'm going to try to get you guys to come back on and you can talk about some other stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, man, that's so cool that Alex helped us out with that segment.
She's awesome.
Yeah, that was really great. When I make a promise to the listeners, I really want to deliver on that promise.
For sure.
And we had said we're going to crown a winner of the 2 parks, and we were able to do that with Alex's help. Thank you so much for helping us, Alex.
Thank you, Alex. You rocked.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to talk about before we sign off?
Just looking forward to the rest of the year because I know we'll do some really fun stuff and watch some really awesome movies.
Yeah.
So, see what's next.
Yeah, and again, if you want to see more videos of me doing makeup, art, or Reyna and I out on all the different things that we do that are horror related, find us on TikTok. I'm going to be posting videos on there most of the time. So
check us out.
Yeah. And if you have any sort of big questions, you can email us at the Date Night Horror Show, all one word, at gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Cool. I think we're done, babe.
Scare you later.
The Date Night Horror Show is written and produced by Enzo and Reyna. All music written and produced by Enzo. Follow the show on Facebook.com/The Date Night Horror Show. Find Enzo and Reyna online at TheDateNightHorrorShow.com.